Okay, so hello and welcome to yet another reaction video. Today, actually, I wasn't supposed to film, but this was too good not to film. I just got the notification of this, but basically, DeepSeek, the kind of Chinese company, if you saw my like VO3 reaction videos, they have a really good AI video generator. But the title of the video is DeepSeek's new AI just humiliated GPT-5. If you're not familiar, yesterday, I actually went ahead and posted a video reacting to GPT-5. Let's bump these numbers up. Go watch this one after this video to bump it up. You also saw maybe perhaps my videos on 3 ways to make money with GPT-5. But basically, kind of resume them, it's pretty mind-blowing what you can do with GPT-5. So the fact that this channel titled this video DeepSeek's new AI just humiliated GPT-5 is very, very intriguing. Now, I am filming this at 9 p.m. There is kind of an insect. I forgot the name of the insect, but something like chirping outside of my window. Hopefully you don't hear it and it doesn't affect the video quality as much. But without further ado, let's get... Oh, subscribe to the channel, okay? We're at 594 subs. So let's bump this up to 600. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, obviously. So subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like it, and let's get right into it.
DeepSeek v3.1 just destroyed expectations, 685 billion parameters, a 128,000 token context window, and a benchmark score that beat Claude Opus 4 while running 68 times cheaper. It dropped on Hugging Face with zero warning, and within hours, the AI world realized this open source release was going head to head with GPT-5. The release caught people off guard, not because of marketing or hype, but because of raw numbers. A 71.6% score on the ADER programming benchmark instantly spread across the community. Claude Opus 4 had been sitting at the top of those rankings, yet here was an open model edging past it. The shock did not stop there. Developers testing it quickly realized the same coding task that cost $70 on a closed system could now be done for just about $1 for enterprises or start.
You can say what you want about China, Chinese companies, whatever, but they are cost efficient, that's for sure.
Startups running thousands of tasks daily. That is the kind of gap that changes entire budgets. This model pushes 685 billion parameters while stretching the context window to 128,000 tokens, giving it the capacity to handle massive inputs without slowing down. In Chinese characters, it works out to roughly 100 to 160,000, the equivalent of about 1/6 of A Dream of Red Mansions, one of the country's longest classics. People immediately started stress testing it by throwing huge texts at it, and while the model could realistically manage about 1/10 of something that massive, the results were accurate and fast. Speed was another part of the surprise. Previous reasoning-heavy models often slowed to a crawl when processing complex queries. v3.1 ripped through those same...
Yeah, that is something with GPT-5, especially when you want a more complex task. It does it quite fast. Like I said in the previous video, I was doing it in like a minute 30, 2 minutes for like pretty complicated things. But it is sometimes pretty lengthy, especially depending on your Wi-Fi connections.
Tasks with almost instant responses. Developers noted right away that something had changed under the hood. It was not just scaled up, it was optimized. The architecture explained a lot. DeepSeek had introduced what they are calling a...
Subscribe to the channel too.
A hybrid architecture. Earlier hybrid attempts usually ended in disappointment, with models that tried to do reasoning, chatting, and coding, but ended up mediocre across the board.
That's true. That's true. So what's the difference with DeepSeek? What is its specialization?
v3.1 for the first time makes those roles work together. The separate R1 label for reasoning is gone. Now everything defaults to v3.1. That consolidation means DeepSeek is not fragmenting its models anymore. They have put their bets on one flagship system. Community researchers digging into the weights discovered...
I feel like that is less good than GPT though, because once again, depending on the task, you need a different model, which will be more efficient, give you a better answer. Like coding or just asking a simple research question is not the same. So I'm not sure if that's the best idea though, to go with a single model. I feel like it's just gonna like do everything 80% versus maybe specific things at 90-95% accuracy.
Something else. 4 hidden tokens: search begin and search end for real-time search, plus think and end think for internal reasoning. That means v3.1 can think privately before giving you an answer, and if connected, can even fetch information from the web. Those discoveries hinted at features people had been waiting for: native reasoning and native search in one open source package. And the benchmarks kept backing up the excitement. On SVG Bench, which tests visual and structural reasoning, v3.1 ranked just behind GPT-4.1 Mini, far surpassing DeepSeek's
Technically it is over GPT-5, so
earlier R1. On MMLU, the standard test for broad language understanding, it held its own against GPT-5. GPT-5 still performed better on graduate level Q&A and advanced software engineering, but the fact that an open model came this close...
Okay, exactly, because like it's specialized in that thing right now, in software dev, coding, all that stuff. It does it super dialed.
Was a milestone. Even on tricky logical comparisons like 9.11 versus 9.9, v3.1 got it right, showing it was less prone to those classic numerical mistakes. Cost efficiency, though, was what kept making headlines. Andrew Christensen, an AI researcher, pointed out the numbers plainly. 71.6% on Aider, 1% above Claude Opus 4, and 68 times cheaper. That kind of proof hit hard because it was not abstract, it was practical. People could calculate exactly how much money this would save them in a real-world work.
Yeah, that's a bit more applicable to larger companies, though. You're never really going to spend more than realistically $100 in like AI power required for your account or whatever. I think I get billed like an extra $5-10 a month max with GPT. So that's not an issue if you're watching this video. But I guess for larger company, that is a thing to keep in mind.
Flow. The timing of the launch also could not have been more calculated. OpenAI had just rolled out GPT-5, Anthropic had just released Claude 4. Both were marketed as cutting-edge frontier systems locked behind APIs with premium pricing. DeepSeek chose that exact moment to upload v3.1 quietly, without fanfare, as a free download. The message was clear. While American companies guard their frontier systems like intellectual property, DeepSeek was treating its frontier model as public infrastructure.
As it should. Like AI is open source, supposed to be open source. I'm down for that. Shout out DeepSeek.
That approach lines up with China's national strategy. Back in 2020, their 14th five-year plan explicitly favored open source AI. The idea was to accelerate adoption worldwide by giving away powerful models, even if it meant losing short-term profits. And it is working. Hugging Face's trending list has been dominated by Chinese releases lately, and v3.1 shot straight into the top 5 within hours. The developer community reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Hugging Face's own head of product, Victor Mustar, tweeted that open source AI is at its peak, pointing directly at models like this. On Reddit, people noticed that the think button from earlier versions had vanished, outputs were longer and more detailed, and benchmarks looked stronger than expected. Before DeepSeek even published the model card, v3.1 was already trending worldwide. This was not the first time DeepSeek rattled the industry, though. Back in January, when they unveiled the original v3, they revealed that training only cost $5.6 million using about 2,000 slower NVIDIA chips.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was... like when that released, I remember that was, I think, around May, April, in that area. Like GPT and Claude had just done their updates, and obviously they have massive budgets, and DeepSeek is out here on a $5 million budget, like creating something literally 90% almost as good as theirs, which is absolutely wild.
That was unheard of in a world where people assumed hundreds of millions were required to train frontier systems. The news alone wiped $600 billion off NVIDIA's market cap in a single day. Governments quickly banned the chatbot version of DeepSeek over fears that user data would sit on Chinese servers. With v3...
Yeah, that is that's like my preoccupation and most people's preoccupation with these Chinese models is your data, like obviously your data has probably been stolen at this point by American companies and whatnot, but is it in China? Probably not, maybe not. So we'd like to keep it that way.
3.1, things are different. This is not just a chatbot. It is an open model released to the world. The economics here are brutal for competitors. Traditional AI development is built on massive investment, data centers, research talent, compliance, and those costs have to be recouped through high API fees. DeepSeek flipped that model upside down. By giving away advanced capabilities, they accelerate adoption while forcing closed competitors to justify their prices. It is the same dynamic we saw with open source software like Linux. Once the free version is good enough, the paid option looks less appealing. There are, of course, practical limits. The full model is around 700 gigabytes, which means most people will not run it locally. But cloud providers are already preparing hosted versions, which removes that barrier almost immediately. Enterprises will soon be asking themselves a simple...
Okay, I don't understand really this lingo, and it's not that pertinent to myself and you watching this video. Okay, I'm actually interested to see what GPT has to say on DeepSeek v3.1. So let me say, hey GPT. Always got to greet GPT, obviously. Hey GPT, based on reviews on consumer/developer reviews, which is better? Which is the better model? GPT-5 or the newly from today, I'll just say or the newly released DeepSeek v3.1. Let's see what GPT will say. Okay, so as of yesterday, direct comparison over 9 tasks revealed that DeepSeek, as tested, outperformed GPT-5 in most scenarios. That's crazy. It excelled at structured reasoning, practical task planning, budget coaching, meal planning, cost constraints, presenting strategies, social media content. GPT-5 performed better in storytelling and cultural explanations. Yeah, because it's more woke, okay. Developer analysis, a technical evaluation, praises DeepSeek for its programming and logic. More fluent programming. Wow. Plus it costs less. So in development, it's better. In structured reasoning, it's better. Additional insights, obviously, yeah, it's open source. It says it's better on Python coding. Wow, that's crazy. Now, if we do creative fluency, like if you're like more of an artsy person that likes woke stuff, go with GPT-5. But if you like everything else, development, actually doing, like producing quality things, building with AI, I guess DeepSeek is better. Damn, I might have to cancel my OpenAI subscription, eh? And what is the difference in dollars spent to develop each respective model? This would be interesting. GPT-5, holy, a single 6-month training run for GPT can cost over 500 million. Official technical documentation, GPT training costs, yeah, it was 5 mil. However, only covers core training costs when factoring additional expenditures as an infrastructure. Okay, so pretty much the same. But this is training though. And this is, so for the training, ChatGPT charged 500 mil per training. Versus, yeah, DeepSeek spent 5 mil, so 100 times less. And then total likely development. Yeah, but see, this is factoring in infrastructure, R&D operations, and this isn't. So GPT-5 is probably way higher. Wow. Okay, so I mean, there you have it. DeepSeek already literally just reacted to the GPT-5, what is it, 12 days ago it was released. I posted that video on the day of. So within 12 days, DeepSeek already took over GPT-5 and passed GPT-5. That's crazy. That's crazy. China is dialed, eh? You can't say anything about their work ethic and the things they produce. But hey, that's all I had for today's video. Once again, road to 1,000 subs. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you did like it, and I guess perhaps consider subscribing to DeepSeek. So on that note, see you in the next one. Ciao.